Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a match that, well, it's already being talked about as one of the most electric encounters of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Picture this. Cincinnati, Ohio, TQL Stadium, June 21st, 2025. The air is just thick with humidity, temperature soaring to a brutal 32 degrees Celsius. Felt even hotter on the pitch, I bet.
Easily.
And in this crucible, two formidable teams clashed. German powerhouse Borussia Dortmund and the South African champions Mamelodi Sundowns.
A really intriguing matchup on paper already.
And what unfolded was an absolute 7-goal thriller. It just defied expectations, kept everyone on the edge of their seats.
Totally nonstop action.
So our mission for this deep dive is to take our stack of sources, the official match report, post-match interviews, stats breakdowns, media reactions, and pull out every important nugget of knowledge and insight for you.
Yeah, get beyond just the highlights.
Exactly. This isn't just about a scoreline. It's a fascinating window into, well, modern soccer tactics, the incredible resilience of players battling both an elite opponent and those extreme conditions.
You can't underestimate that heat factor.
Not at all. And it shows the ever-growing global competition in the sport. Think of this as your shortcut to being truly well-informed about this epic showdown, revealing layers you might not have considered.
It genuinely was epic. What's fascinating here, like you said, is just how many layers there are to peel back beyond that final 4-3 score.
Right.
This wasn't just another group stage match. It was a crucial F group fixture. Both teams battling intensely for a vital spot in the round of 16. The stakes were incredibly high, which just amplified every single moment.
Makes every tackle, every pass feel bigger.
Definitely. And as you mentioned, those environmental conditions were brutal. That adds an immediate and profound challenge, testing not just skill, but endurance, mental fortitude.
Yeah, the whole package.
And we saw a first-time starter for Dortmund score a truly historic goal. And Mamelodi Sundowns, a team from Africa, not only compete, but earn immense respect against a European powerhouse. It really defied a lot of expectations.
Okay, let's ground ourselves first. Unpack the core info. The final score, the one that screams, this was no ordinary game. Borussia Dortmund 4, Mamelodi Sundowns 3.
7 goals. That's exceptionally high for a major tournament match, especially the Club World Cup.
Right. This thriller took place on June 21st, 2025, kicking off at 12:00 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S., which, for our listeners over in Beijing, that was 1:00 a.m. the next morning.
Wow, that's some dedicated viewing right there.
Definitely. The venue, TQL Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. State-of-the-art place. And it's significant, the U.S. hosting this global event.
Yeah, it says a lot about soccer's growth here, doesn't it?
It really does. The commercial appeal, everything. This game was match day 2 of the F group, so both teams were looking to, solidify their positions early on.
Crucial points up for grabs.
And a solid crowd, too. 14,006 spectators. Which, honestly, considering the heat warning and it being a group stage game, that's pretty respectable. Shows the local enthusiasm.
No doubt. And those weather conditions, like we keep saying, they weren't just a footnote. They were central to the whole story.
Absolutely.
32 degrees Celsius, scorching. But the perceived temperature on that pitch probably felt much, much higher with the humidity, the artificial turf.
Yeah, radiating heat.
Exactly. An official heat warning was issued. This immediately adds this profound layer of challenge. It's not just tactics anymore. It's endurance, energy conservation, mental will, right from the first whistle.
You got to wonder how much it played into those early moments, the errors.
Oh, for sure. And the coaching decisions, too.
Yeah.
Managing substitutions, the tempo. It's a huge factor, a testament to the athletes, really, but also shows the physical toll.
It certainly did shape the game. And what we saw wasn't just high scoring. It was this relentless back-and-forth battle, momentum swinging wildly.
Like a pendulum, yeah.
Yeah.
Each goal seemed to spark an immediate response.
Made for a captivating narrative. So let's dive into how this thriller unfolded, moment by dramatic moment. Break down these 7 goals.
Let's do it. And connecting it to the bigger picture, these rapid shifts, especially under those energy-sapping conditions, they just highlight how fragile a lead can be.
Yeah, how quickly things change.
Every decision, every sprint, it's magnified when you're battling the heat and the opponent. Forces adaptations on the fly.
And Sundowns, well, they certainly started with an unexpected bang, didn't they? Caught Dortmund a bit off guard.
They really did. Just 11 minutes in, Lucas Ribeiro, what a goal. A stunning solo effort.
Silenced any doubts about their intent right away. Sent a message, we're here to play.
He picked up the ball near midfield, then just took off. A breathtaking run, weaving past, 2 Dortmund defenders.
Incredible agility, close control. Not just pace, real skill.
And then the composure. Slotted it calmly with his right foot, past Kobel into the far corner. That wasn't just a goal, it was a statement.
Showcase that individual skill, the confidence, the speed South African players bring, underscored their whole attacking philosophy right from the start.
It was a dream start for them, perfect reward for being aggressive. But then, just 5 minutes later, 16th minute, Dortmund get this massive
Well,
gift.
that error, it highlights the pressure, doesn't it? One lax and boom.
Catastrophic at this level. Ronwen Williams, Sundowns keeper, usually so reliable, made a really crucial error, tried a short pass from the back.
Which is common tactics now, build from the back, draw the press.
Exactly. But this time, the pass was underhit, maybe rushed, went directly to Dortmund's Felix Nmecha.
Right into his path. Empty net, easy tap in.
You have to ask, how much did Dortmund's early press, combined with maybe the heat starting to bite, play into that? An uncharacteristic mistake from an experienced keeper.
Totally changed the game's complexion right there. Wiped out that brilliant Sundowns opener instantly.
It was a stunning turnaround. And Dortmund, being a top European side, they didn't just equalize, they grabbed that momentum.
Seized it, pushed their advantage. 34th minute, they show their class.
Julian Brandt, the captain, whips in this perfect cross from the right. Beautifully weighted.
Just inviting trouble. Curled right into the path of Serhou Guirassy.
And Guirassy rose perfectly. Powerful header, directed it down, away from Williams. 2-1 Dortmund.
Classic header. Showed their cohesion, finding space, clinical finishing, not just individual coordinated play.
That goal felt like confirmation.
Yeah.
Dortmund weathered that early storm, now asserting themselves. And then, just before halftime, a truly historic moment.
Bellingham. Jobe Bellingham. 45th minute. Dortmund's third. Etched his name in the history books there.
It developed quickly, right? A bit of a scramble in the box after a shot.
Yeah, and Bellingham reacted quickest. Superb chest trap to control it instantly in a crowded area. That's harder than it looked under pressure.
Incredible timing. Body control. Then, with remarkable composure for a first-time starter, so young, slotted it calmly. Right through Williams' legs.
No chance for the keeper. His first start, first goal for Dortmund. On this stage, huge historical weight for him and the club.
A real coming-of-age moment. Public declaration of his talent. That goal was a massive turning point. 3-1 going into the break. Huge psychological pressure on Sundowns now.
You could feel the confidence shift on the pitch.
Absolutely. That cushion, especially in that heat, was significant for Dortmund. But, huge credit to Sundowns. They did not roll over.
No way. Second half, they came out with renewed aggression. Refused to yield.
7 minutes after the restart, 52nd minute, Iqraam Rayners unleashes a shot. Agonizingly hits the post.
So close. But it was a clear signal, right, we're coming back.
Showed their fighting spirit was absolutely alive and well.
But then almost immediately after that hope, just pure bad luck strikes Sundowns again, the kind of moment that can break you.
Yeah, the 60th minute. Khuliso Mudau, unfortunate own goal. Benefited Dortmund, obviously.
Same from across, right? Daniel Svensson from the wing.
Yeah, dangerous ball whipped in. Mudau tried to clear it under pressure, just misjudged the contact. Deflected off him into his own net.
Those things happen in frantic moments. Millisecond decisions. Made it 4-1. That felt like, okay, maybe game over now.
You'd think so, but it didn't kill their spirit. If anything, it seemed to fuel them.
Incredible resilience.
Because just 2 minutes later, 62nd minute, Iqraam Rayners, who just hit the post, gets his goal.
Redemption. How did it happen?
Thibaut Mokoena, free kick into the box. Rayners' first shot hits the post again.
You're kidding. The woodwork was not his friend.
Not at all. But he reacted instantly, brilliantly, stayed with it, headed in the rebound from close range before the defense could clear it.
Wow. That's pure fighting spirit. Never say die attitude. Refusing to give up, even down 4-1.
Clawed one back, 4-2. Injected belief back into them. Amazing response.
And the drama wasn't even done then. Clock winding down, game seems decided. Nope. Another twist.
90th minute. Lebo Mothiba, a substitute, just came on, scores.
Close range. Assist from Letkana.
Yep. Chaotic moment in the box, persistence paying off. Tapped it in. Made it 3-4.
Kept the suspense alive right to the very final whistle. What a thriller. Couldn't look away for a second.
Just incredible stuff. And beyond the goals and the back and forth, those individual performances told a huge story, especially under those conditions.
Yeah, it raises that question. How do players manage physically, mentally in that environment? And how do those individuals shape the game?
It's a massive challenge. Let's quickly run through the starting lineups. Gives us the coach's initial thoughts. Sundowns, 4-3-3, aiming for midfield control with
Williams in goal, Mudau, Kakana, Cupido, Lunga in defense, midfield, Allende, Mokoena, Matthews, up front, Ribeiro, Captain Zwain, and Rayners.
Solid lineup. Dortmund went with that 3-4-2-1, designed for defensive solidity, quick transitions.
Kobel in goal, back three, Sule, Anton, Bensabeni, midfield four, wingbacks Kudo and Gross, with Svensson and Nmecha central, attackers, Brandt captaining, Jobe Bellingham, and Guirassy up top.
Strong teams from both sides. And then the standouts. Jobe Bellingham for Dortmund, undeniably player of the match, 9 out of 10 rating.
Huge impact for a first start. Scoring that goal with such composure speaks volumes.
And his calm play in that heat was so impressive. Conditioning, mental strength beyond his years. Tactically flexible, too, drifting between lines, causing problems.
93% passing accuracy is outstanding in a game like that.
Ridiculously good. And that detail, mimicking his brother Jude's celebration, fantastic, relatable moment, resonated with fans.
Draws those comparisons immediately. What does it tell us about his potential?
Huge potential. Not just talent, but mental resilience, ambition, big game temperament. He could thrive on the biggest stages, maybe even follow Jude's path. Definitely one to watch.
He really shone. On the Sundowns side, Lucas Ribeiro, despite the loss, 8.5 out of 10. Exceptional game.
That explosive start with the solo goal, and he was just relentless. Constant running, pressing, pushing forward. Biggest threat for Sundowns.
Showcased that South African technical ability and flair brilliantly. Made a strong case for himself.
And Ronwen Williams, the keeper. A real mixed bag, wasn't he? 7.5 rating.
Yeah, made 3 crucial saves, point-blank stops that kept them in it. Showed his class there.
Definitely. Some fantastic saves.
Right.
But that fatal error for the first goal, it drags the rating down significantly.
Highlights that immense pressure on keepers. One mistake can overshadow everything else. Cruel position sometimes.
It really is. And we can't forget the substitutes, especially in those conditions. Fresh legs make a huge difference.
Lebo Mothiba for Sundowns came on late, scored almost immediately. Proves the value right there.
And Lithuania getting the assist for that final goal, too, showed their depth.
For Dortmund, Sabitzer came on, provided that crucial midfield stability in the tense final minutes. Experience helped see it out.
Exactly. Controlled the tempo, broke up attacks, smart substitution.
So with all that individual stuff, what about the tactical battle, the chess match between the coaches? How did the game evolve strategically?
This is where we see the plans play out and how they adapted to each other, and crucially, to that heat.
Sundowns first. Clearly a possession game. 4-3-3, sometimes a 4-2-3-1 hybrid.
And that 59.3% possession stat backs it up. Huge amount of the ball, showcasing their technical philosophy, building from the back.
Their initial high press was really effective too, wasn't it? Caught Dortmund off guard early, threatened through the wings with Matthews and Mudau pushing high.
Definitely. Dortmund, in contrast, that 3-4-2-1. Built for balance, flexibility, and especially quick transitions.
3 center backs for solidity, wing backs like Kudo and Gross providing width going forward, dropping back to make it 5 in defense.
Allows those 2 attacking mids, Brandt and Bellingham, to operate in those dangerous half spaces, launching counters, plus that typical German high-intensity press to win the ball back quickly.
So how did these tactics shift during the match? First half, Sundowns press worked well initially.
Yeah, but Dortmund adjusted. Went more direct, bypassed the press, got the ball forward quicker, less risky passing at the back.
And Williams' error kind of forced Sundowns' hand, too. Highlighted the nerves, maybe. Made them deviate from their short passing game a bit.
Could be. Second half, Sundowns had to chase it, right?
Yeah.
So much more aggressive offensively, push more players forward.
Creating chances, but leaving space behind.
Exactly. Which Dortmund, with their counter setup, were ready to exploit. Looking for those quick breaks as Sundowns pushed higher.
And the heat was just this constant underlying factor influencing everything.
Absolutely. Player stamina, obviously. Those cooling breaks weren't just for water, they were crucial tactical timeouts.
Coaches relaying instructions, making adjustments on the fly.
And you could see maybe the European teams fatigued a bit quicker, not as used to it as the African teams potentially. Led to more errors in the second half as stamina dropped. Passing, decision-making.
Yeah, the conditions really became a tactical variable in themselves. Forced adaptations you wouldn't normally see.
Now let's dig into the cold, hard data. The stats. Because they reveal how the game was won, beyond just the score.
The numbers tell a really compelling story here, often surprising. Possession. Sundowns 59.3%, Dortmund 40.7%. Huge difference.
Almost 2/3 of the ball for Sundowns. What does that tell you when they lost?
Tells you possession isn't everything, it's what you do with it.
Spot on. Sundowns dominated the ball, but Dortmund were way more effective when they had it. Look at total shots. Sundowns 16, Dortmund only 8.
Again, Sundowns showing more intent volume-wise.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. Shots on target.
This is it. Sundowns. Only 4 on target from 16 shots. Struggled with accuracy.
Dortmund, from just 8 total shots, an impressive 6 were on target. Massive difference in efficiency, precision.
And that leads straight to shooting efficiency. The critical stat. Dortmund, an incredible 75% efficiency. 3/4 of their shots on target. Sundowns, just 25%.
That's clinical, surgical precision from Dortmund, taking their chances, big game experience shining through.
Made their opportunities count. And look at the saves. Williams for Sundowns made 3 key saves. He was much busier. Kobel for Dortmund only needed to make 1.
Again, highlights Dortmund's efficiency. They weren't giving Williams many chances because the shots were going in.
Exactly. Corners. Sundowns 2, Dortmund 5. Fits with Dortmund attacking wide, forcing clearances.
Discipline stats were pretty balanced. 2 yellows each. Allende, handball, Matthews, foul for Sundowns. For Dortmund, Bayer, foul. Chukwueze, foul. Fouls committed fairly even too.
Yeah, good discipline overall, despite the intensity. Offsides showed good tactical shape from both lines.
So summing up the efficiency comparison, Dortmund, truly clinical. 6 on target from 8 shots, exceptional. Seized their chances, European big game know-how.
While Sundowns, aggressive play, 16 shots, showed intent. Dominated possession, but needed better conversion. Still, their tenacity, fighting spirit, absolutely commendable.
Classic dilemma, possession versus conversion. Conversion won this one decisively. Quality over quantity sometimes.
Definitely. Now, after a wild game like that, what did the coaches and players say? Those post-match insights are always gold.
Reveal the true emotions, the strategy, the narratives.
Raw, unfiltered window into their immediate thoughts. Miguel Cardoso, Sundowns head coach, had some really insightful things to say.
What was his take?
He said, "We leave with disappointment, but also full of pride because we showed competitiveness. I think we earned a lot of respect."
That's powerful after a loss. Shows they achieved something beyond the score.
It really is. It speaks volumes about their self-belief, the statement they made. He added about the performance, "We are very proud of this. We have opened up opportunities for ourselves, turning dreams into goals. But we know the road ahead, it won't be easy."
Wow. Looking long-term, using this as a launch pad, building ambition.
Exactly. And he briefly touched on tactics, maybe hinting at future focus, mentioning playing aggressive teams that use counter-pressing well, shows his awareness of modern trends.
What about the Dortmund side? Bellingham.
Jobe Bellingham, on his first goal, said, "The moment the ball hit the net was a bit surreal. Everything happened very slowly, but I'm really happy." Captures that feeling perfectly, doesn't it?
Totally. That landmark goal experience. And on the conditions.
Very candid. I think these conditions made the game so difficult, especially for a European team like us. They played very well, but I'm sure they are used to this weather, and we are definitely not.
Confirms our analysis right there. The heat's impact, different adaptation levels, straight from the player.
And Felix Nmecha, who got the equalizer, offered his tactical view. "We weren't surprised by Mamelodi Sundowns. We expected them to have a strong start. But we tried to impose our influence on the game."
That's interesting. Suggests they had prepared for that initial onslaught, even if they got caught momentarily. They had a plan.
Right. Emphasizes their own strategy, not just reacting. Now, this game, it wasn't just isolated. Big implications for the group, the tournament, even global soccer.
Raises that question, yeah. What does this tell us about the evolving balance of power internationally?
First, the Group F standing shifted significantly after this match. Dortmund jumped to first, 4 points from 2 games. Solid start.
Sundowns, despite losing, held second with 3 points from 2 games. Still very much in it.
Fluminense had 1 point from 1 game, Ulsan Hyundai 0 from 1. So Dortmund closer to the round of 16, but Sundowns still competitive. Crucially, all 4 teams still had a mathematical chance.
Kept that final match day super tense.
And the historical significance, especially for African soccer. Remember, earlier, Sundowns became the first African team to beat an Asian team in the Club World Cup, beating Ulsan 3-0.
That's huge. Shows their growing strength, tactical maturity on the global stage.
Definitely. And for Dortmund, Bellingham's first goal is now etched in their history, a moment fans will remember. Overall, this match really proved African soccer's competitiveness, going toe-to-toe with European giants.
And the media and fan reactions reflected that, didn't they? ESPN called it one of the most entertaining matches so far. Highlighted Bellingham's surreal experience, Sundowns earning a lot of respect.
Reuters, AP focused on the heat, called it a fierce confrontation. Cardoso's quote about earning respect became a key soundbite.
Even Chinese media covered it extensively. Sina Sports, Tencent Sports. Pre-match, they focused on Sundown's domestic dominance, 8 straight titles.
Wow, a dynasty.
Post-match, coverage shifted to Dortmund's European tactics, clinical finishing, in-game adjustments, highlighting those differences.
And fans' social media is always revealing. Dortmund fans ecstatic about Bellingham, his goal, the celebration, lots of, like his brother Jude, comments.
Fan sites admitted Sundowns gave us a lot of worry, showing respect.
And Sundown supporters, huge pride despite the loss. Tashreeq Matthews wrote, "We gave them a hard time," became a rallying cry.
Yeah, disappointment in the result, but profound pride in the performance. Felt they earned respect. Powerful takeaway for them.
Okay, we've covered the game in detail, but there were other interesting elements too. Innovations, context. What else should you know?
Right, beyond the 90 minutes. Injury report for Dortmund was significant. Missing Nico Schlotterbeck and Emre Can. Key players out.
Impacts depth, flexibility, and Giovanni Reyna benched again. That raised eyebrows, speculation about his status.
On the plus side for Sundowns, Captain Semmetswain returned from a long 9-month injury. Huge boost. Immediately got the armband back.
Integrating returning players is always tricky. And then the tech and officiating points. Williams and that 8-second rule again.
Yeah, he was the first penalized under it earlier. That rule mandating keepers release the ball in 8 seconds adds constant pressure, speeds things up.
And this tournament saw real-time VAR replays on the stadium screens for the first time. Huge for fan engagement, transparency, see what the ref sees.
That's RefCam tech. Cameras on the refs, first-person view, more transparency.
Pushing boundaries of how we experience the game. And this match itself set some records. First ever meeting between Sundowns and Dortmund.
Historical footnote. And an instant classic, 7 goals, extreme heat, drama will be remembered.
Landmark match for the new expanded 32-team format too.
Yeah.
Showcasing the compelling matchups it can create.
And the tournament overall breaking records. 44 goals in the first 2 rounds, averaged 2.75 per game. Over 500,000 spectators early on. Huge interest.
Plus that massive $1 billion prize pool, up to $125 million for the winner. Enormous financial stakes.
So, looking ahead, the next Group F games are crucial. June 25th, Dortmund versus Ulsan Hyundai in Cincinnati.
Dortmund looking to lock up their spot there.
And same day, same time, 3 p.m. ET, Mamelodi Sundowns versus Fluminense down in Miami.
Huge game for both of them. Absolutely critical for who advances from this tight group.
Phew. Okay, wrapping up. This 4-3 thriller, it really stands out as a classic already, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Mamelodi Sundowns, despite the loss, proved African club soccer is evolving fast. They competed, showed tactical maturity, earned immense respect. Their resilience was incredible.
And Dortmund's hard-fought win highlighted their clinical finishing, that big game experience, with Jobe Bellingham making a huge historic statement with his first goal.
And the extreme heat just added that extra layer of complexity, pushing limits, forcing those tactical adjustments, separated the adaptable.
So what does this deep dive mean for you, the informed fan? It's a testament really to the growing competitive balance, the entertainment value of this expanded Club World Cup.
Offers compelling stories, surprising twists, diverse styles clashing, goes way beyond just scores.
Underscores that soccer is truly global. Talent, fierce competition everywhere. Every match, a potential classic.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder on. As global soccer keeps evolving new formats, more competition from every continent, more money, how much will these sophisticated tech innovations, like RefCam, transparent VAR, semi-automated offside, continue to shape the very nature of the beautiful game?
Yeah. And what new kinds of surprises might we see unfold on the pitch because of them in the years to come? Something to think about.